Have you ever felt like God just disappeared? Like he left you alone in the middle of chaos, and the sky suddenly went silent? Because that's what it feels like when everything falls apart, and even after you pray, cry, and beg, all you get in return is the sound of your own despair echoing inside your mind. The worst pain isn't when something bad happens. The worst pain is when you need an answer and all you get is silence. And it's not just any silence. It's an emptiness that hurts, an emptiness that weighs on your chest, a silence that makes you question whether you're being ignored or punished. What if I told you that this silence isn't a coincidence, that God is speaking to you exactly through this silence? It's just that you haven't learned to listen yet. No one told you this. No one had the courage. But I'm going to show you now. And maybe it will hurt you. Maybe it will revolt you. But if you stick it out until the end, you might never hear silence the same way again. It all starts with the fall. That moment when you think your life is going to stop. It's not always something big. Sometimes it's a sequence of small things. A relationship that goes cold, a friend who moves away, a job that loses its meaning. You feel like you're being pushed into a dark place, and the more you try to get back, the further away everything gets. It's like life has hit the airplane mode button and no one is listening to you anymore. Not even God. And then you bend your knees. You scream into the pillow. You make promises. If the Lord answers me, I will change. I will come back. I will surrender. But nothing happens. You wait for a sign, a dream, a voice, a coincidence. But all that comes is nothing. And that's when despair begins to turn into doubt. Has he forgotten me? But the truth is much heavier than that. God has not forgotten you. God is looking right at you. Only now, he is waiting. He is testing. And maybe, yes, he is judging. Have you ever thought that perhaps God's silence is not a mistake, but an answer? That he is silent not because he has abandoned you, but because you are not ready to hear what he really wants to say? It's cruel, it's brutal, but it's real. You know that prayer you said out loud? The one where you asked him to show you the truth no matter what the cost? Well, it does. And it starts right here. God's silence is like spiritual surgery. He cuts without anesthesia. He opens the chest of your soul without warning. Because he doesn't want to please you. He wants to wake you up. Most people think that God speaks in a sweet voice, with comfort, with promises. And sometimes, yes, he does. But not when you are walking towards the abyss thinking it is paradise. In those moments, he stops pushing you and lets you fall. Not out of cruelty, but because the sound of falling is, sometimes, the only thing
capable of waking you up. Remember that time when everything started to go wrong?
That doors closed, friends disappeared, and what was right became chaos. That wasn't bad luck, that was a scream. A silent scream. It's strange to think that God speaks through absence. But what do you expect from a creator who hid for 40 days in the desert, who allowed his own son to be betrayed and killed in silence? His love was never meant to be comforting. It was meant to be truthful. And truth hurts. There comes a time when God's silence becomes a mirror, and you begin to see who you really are. You begin to realize that the answers you so desperately wanted were not given, because deep down you didn't want to change. You just wanted relief. And God is not relief. He is transformation. And transformation demands desperation. It demands pain. It demands falling. It was in this place that many people were reborn, alone, broken, crying on the floor of their room, with their faces pressed against the cold floor, feeling as if the world had ended. It was there that, for the first time, the voice of God began to be heard, but not as a sound, as a conscience, as a weight, as a whisper inside the soul that no longer has the strength to fight, and only surrenders. Do you understand now? It's not that God is silent. It's that he speaks on a frequency that only the broken can capture. And maybe that's why you're broken now. The reality is that most people cannot stand the voice of God because it disarms. It dismantles. It takes away masks. And that is why he needs to first put you in the dark, in silence, in abandonment. Because that is where you stop pretending. That is where you start listening. And when you get to that point, when there's no one left to blame, when pride has died, when even your faith has turned to dust, then and only then, do you begin to listen, not with your ears, but with your soul. God is not far away. You were just speaking too loudly. You filled everything with noise, distractions, empty promises, shallow conversations, depthless religiosity. And now, He took it all away and left you with the only thing that was ever enough, the silence where He dwells. If this has sparked your interest, comment below. Say, I'm listening to it now. Because if you've come this far, it's because your soul has already begun to hear what the world has tried to silence for years.